Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, winter, Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, winter, Winternomics.
Peekaboo, and we're back. Morning, everybody. Another great pre-market during the pandemic crisis. I think we gotta get in here and make sure everybody knows what the fuck time it is. How's everybody doing this morning? Everybody staying safe from the swine, bird, flu, whatever the fuck new concoction of shit this is? Staying safe from the markets with their sickness. How you guys doing? Tell me some things. It's sunny in the Netherlands. Sounds good. Lockdown in the UK now. I saw that. Boy, that's some shit, right? After what's his face? Boris is talking about herd immunity, right? That just tells you how far outside the box him and Trump's response was compared to China's immediate reaction. Like it's like running in the wrong direction, on in a track and field race, and then having to turn around and catch somebody who's at full speed right off the gun. It's an amazing fucking misstep by both sides of the Atlantic. My internet is fucked in the UK. I've heard that before, for just in general. So is your medical system, apparently. Molly water fire at the chalice, you already know. Safe and isolated, word. I'm in private locker in sense? I don't know what that means. I guess you probably say locked away. Futures are limit up. Yep. Um, we'll talk about that too in a little bit. Let's see, what do I have over here? Futures. Yeah, I'll put futures in here too. I'll just put it in the straw. That's fine. Aussie Prime Minister tune has changed now, starting to scare people into line. Yeah, and that was actually something we said, right? The reaction had to make sense to change the fundamentals of the spread. People have to freak out enough to like that's what made all the other pandemics not become pandemics is that the fear of like it being a pandemic would make you go, oh, and that move is what makes you not have everyone catch it. It's when everyone goes, nah, this one's like all the others, let's go have a spring break party, and you mix together so the reaction is not there to stop the spread. So the crowd has to literally get fearful enough to all crowd the other side of the trade to bottom that particular market. You know, like any market, right? So once everybody goes, oh my God, stocks aren't going to stop crashing, then there's a vacancy on that side of the equation where everybody now fucking has the same idea that stocks aren't going to stop crashing. So that consensus belief is the reason they stop crashing, because if everyone agrees, you have an exhaustion of the seller. So there is no more sellers. Once everybody has bought the idea, we're going to zero. And just like that in a bull market, when everybody thinks crypto can't stop, there's no more buyers to sell the idea to. So that is the nature of consensus is an empty space in markets. The value is the scarce position. The consensus idea is what crowds the trade. And the crowded trade needs to be that this is going to be a pandemic, so everyone fucking buys the top of that idea and stops it. It's the fact that you're seeing the slow reaction for everyone to get to the point like, oh, this is going to kill us? Okay, now we should stay at home. Once everyone actually stays at home because it could kill us, then the fundamental that was in place for it to proliferate gets interrupted. So you literally need the crowd to reach freak out level to actually end it. That's the same in every marketplace, right? It's a fractal concept. And the thing is that the Chinese reacted with the extreme move while the US and Europe did not. So they didn't have the reaction to change the fundamentals of the moon pump of COVID. Oh yeah, you know what? We have COVID charts now. Let me think. Where did I just see that bright red one? They have a good one here. I hate opening stuff when I'm streaming. It always goes fucking crazy. Let's see. How do I get to it? This is gonna be really bright. I think there's a COVID chart in the front of TradingView right now. Yeah. COVID stats. So this would be good. Oh, this is so dope. They have them by country all organized already. This is perfect. More countries, please. Okay, that's not what I expected. All right, I'm getting there. All right, cool. This is cool. This should be neat to look at together. Finally, the reaction is getting there. Yeah, exactly. We had to get the crowd to basically make sense of the VIX, right? The crowd was chasing the VIX. The crowd's fear was like willing to go on spring break, while the fear index that is capturing the true sentiment of the market is telling you people are supposed to be more scared than fucking 9/11, and they're not acting anything like 9/11. They're still getting on the plane, going to the beach. So the people had to catch up to the reality, and now we saw that. That's why we talked about the VIX likely topping out in the last show. What do I think of Trump's idea to reopen everything in a few weeks? It's exactly as bad as Hong Kong trying to return to normal life and realizing without a vaccine that the disease that's so catchy will proliferate once again, and you'll go right back into a parabolic. You can't. They have to fucking stop it first. It's just statistics. You can't leave them out there, If you watch Burger Tamagotchi, if you watch his stream on Game Theory, he had a really great explanation on that stuff. If you guys haven't followed him, he's got some really genius stuff. That's who I do all my indicator stuff with. And he did a Game Theory to kind of show how something like this could proliferate. And there's a lot of online videos that show you what happens if no one quarantines, if you keep on just moving around, how the infection will ping pong through the system. Ed, I think you tried to post a link, and links that might be disabled. I have to figure out how to enable per person, and I don't exactly. I'm not the smartest technological person. The person who would do that is not awake right now. So I'll figure that out next time. People start taking it serious. What up, BTG Booger? Good to see you, man. Let's see. What do you think of Trump's like this? Any other questions? Wedding and funeral reactions will get people to think, right? That's true. In my family, the conversation, my mother, when I talked to her about it, she kind of was aware and was it seems bad. My relatives in New York are maybe. Had a brother willing to travel into New York while New York was basically having the epidemic explode, and tried to tell them, and it was kind of just like, well, maybe now, like, just a couple of days ago, my mother's in her late 70s. She's like, this thing can kill me. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's fucking lethal to your age bracket. And so, like, the fear of it being really, really real is set in now to people who just, really moonlight the news, don't really watch the news like that, to have the kind of, like, contact we have with the story. But now I'm seeing people who aren't. Really, Ivy? Is this the time for that? Unbelievable. She's sleeping, dead asleep, until I come here and turn this fucking camera on. Anyway, um, yeah, now I see the fear is really real in people that, like, topically watch the news and they don't really pay attention to it. Hey, honey. Come on. Ouch. Pause. Ivy wants a cameo. She's always jelly. They're always talking to other people. You're crazy. Say hi, Ivy. So let's take a look at some stuff. And please don't get in my wires, girl. Oh my god. There it goes. Stop it. Alright, let's get over here. COVID chart. Whoops, wrong one. Here we go. Stop licking me. Let's see. The reaction is forced by the government, but that's your leadership, right? China's reaction didn't come from the people. It came from the government. And the leadership at the top has to direct the fucking army. And we had bad leadership. So it's not that the reaction has to come from the crowd, whether it's forced or not. It just has to have the reaction occur to change the fundamental dynamics that allow the disease to keep on moving. Yeah, Ivy's got to get her fucking attention. The link was just to clip. Someone asked to clip it. Yeah, I don't know why that doesn't exactly work. There's some setting that stops the links. And I'll get when Henry gets up. We'll figure it out and fix it. Ivy stream Sync-Wave. You already know, Petr. What you know about Sync-Waves? Let's see. The U.S. futures market has a bounce overnight. I think it's possible we see a relief move before more down. All right. Yeah, we'll talk about that. What up, Brad? 69 bits. Respect. Holla. Let's see. What screen did I bring up here? All right, so this is a cool little COVID chart. They now graph COVID stats over on TradingView. I thought this was pretty fucking cool for them to add this. This is not like the kind of pump statistics he wants. Look at fucking Spain. 22%. This is a fucking crazy statistic, right? Confirmed Spain. So Spain is like fucking mooning. And Germany, which is actually quite crazy. Look at this thing. This is like a basket you don't want. Who's the underperformer? It's actually China. I think when we see United States stats really start to fucking come in and we get enough tests to do it, this is going to fucking balloon out of control. So this is a crazy fucking thing, recovered. That's interesting. Deaths. This arc you don't want to see. The acceleration of deaths, right? Worldwide, the reaction is not where it needs to be for the world to shut this down. So let's go grab the world chart, huh? We have deaths, China. Which one of these do we want? I guess let's do the world one. It's probably the most stats. Alright, cool. So I see code. I guess we'll get the world link inside here. I can find it. Oh, eggplant. Hold on. COVID. Deaths total. Yeah, it's real low res. Let's see. What do you guys give me? Oh, that's not good. I need to turn you into a line chart. So, yeah, that needs to fucking stop right now. That's a bull market, right? Like any other. And the fundamentals that need to be in place for a bull market to keep on pumping is the lack of reaction to the reality it's a bull market, right? Once everybody goes, ooh, Bitcoin's going to 100,000, it can top. That fractal reaction hasn't happened in this market where everyone goes, oh my God, this can go fucking to 1 million people, run, that would stop it. So the crowd has to get to that point where you don't have the social gatherings, the rebellious fucking spring breakers who are all defying it. they're introducing the variables to keep it spreading. Like, that's your dumb money. Those people should actually get a baseball bat to their fucking faces for doing it. They're jeopardizing the lives of all of your relatives, sitting there saying, I want to have my fun. They're willing to basically fucking destroy everybody else's life to fucking drink some beer on the beach. It's the definition of a fucking idiot. Um, so yeah, this is this thing's trajectory. You don't ever want to see this, right? Like, this is basically the non-reaction in the United States that happens here and Europe that fucking helps to arc this thing. So this is really horrible. This is just total death, and it's going to get to a point. It has to get to a point where there's enough people dying per day that no one can fight it. In the United States, if we close in on like Italy and start having 800 people a day die, in 3 days you'll have the death toll of 9/11 every 3 days, and it will be accelerating. That will be an inescapable reality, for Trump to be able to lie his way out of. At the end of the day, enough dead bodies of family members pile up, and that motherfucker's going to have a real problem. But unfortunately, people have to learn that hard way, right? They delude themselves in what reality is to fit the world they want to live in. And so they fucking hide everything from themselves with bias. The reality is that if people fucking actually fully value this, people would have stopped yesterday. This is so fucking dangerous. So yeah, we need to see the fundamental shift in unison across the planet to shut it down. If you're on lockdown and your girl's on lockdown, but you got one person in the house that fucking goes out and sees his family in another place and comes back, all your lockdown means nothing. Everyone's got to basically cooperate to stop the virus from moving. You can't have an outlier who does something else. So it's really crazy. What you guys doing over here? What the heck is happening? Damn, Ramsey, man. Thanks for gifting subs. Much appreciated. Hope you guys enjoy it. There's a show for any of you got it to check out that's going to expire today. That was the Winter Oracle, the first show. Some good stuff in there. Can't wait to see how Trump tries to spin it. I mean, he's failing miserably at spinning it now. The one thing you can't get around is people dying, Damn, Ram. Hooking it up. Oh shit, RG State. Respect, man. Thanks for the bits. I don't see those when I'm in the chart, but thanks. I always appreciate it. It's crazy deaths are going moon because there is not enough health infrastructure. That's the other side of it, right? The non-reaction plus the lack of health infrastructure are all the fundamentals for this bull market to be doing what you're seeing. That's why China got in front of it and put out fucking new hospitals and whatever they could to basically change the fundamental dynamics of the bull market that no one else knew to act so swiftly to do. Since the last show we talked about, you can see they're now playing the white knight, just like we said. They're going around the entire planet now, doing the thing that they've never been known for, and showing up with happy smiles and faces to save you from a pandemic you didn't know was coming. If it doesn't look like a chess match yet, it should. They're exactly fucking stealing the role of the United States underneath this, which is the role of the guy who's the hero. They're now the good guy. And doing it all just at such perfect timing, into the election year. The entire U.S. is crippled, can't get the actual election to even happen. The economy shut off. Trump wants to restart it because it's fucking crashing in his face. It'll actually fucking moon the fucking stats in COVID if he does it. It's the perfect way to shut the U.S. down. There is no military attack you could have ever done that would do the damage that Europe and America is suffering at this moment, while China is basically seizing the rest of the relationships in the world that you can't service. That combined with the fact that having a Trump and a Boris in office, who are nationalistic, fucking like about me, literally was the worst moment in history to have those two guys in office when the entire world had to come together. You got two racists in office who are completely focused on them and their kind at the moment mankind needed to come together. The timing of that cannot be overlooked. It's exactly the wrong personality type to be on both sides of the Atlantic. And China fucking comes out sealing up their buildings and appears the white knight to save people. If you remember fucking Haiti when they had that massive earthquake, China sent one helicopter full of fucking one pallet of like food. And everyone's like, a nation your size sent that? And they're like, whatever. They don't go help people. They don't give a fuck. Now China's fucking showing up like, oh, we'll help you guys out. Trust me, that's fucking bait. Because the one thing that's fucking different, right? Their footprint is like that of the fucking Borg in Star Trek. The fucking like overwhelming force, the collective mind. You don't want to see a fucking communist, capitalist fusion learn how to fucking put on a charm offensive. You've got the best of all worlds and no one's ready for a motherfucker like that. And China is learning the charm offensive game and fucking how to replicate Hollywood to create the story narratives that allowed the West to seize power over the world and the ideologies of the mind, you know? It's a very crazy tactic. They've learned everything about what gave the West its power and are crippling it in every fucking corner simultaneously with one of the best coordinated attacks I've ever seen. Step by step with perfect timing. You have a 73-year-old reality show host who is competing against a fucking trained emperor that's using AI and game theory to plan their moves out 300 to 500 years into the future. It's not sort of a mismatch. It's really, really crazy who's in our office right now. 73 years old? How many of you want your 73-year-old relatives driving like a fucking like big fucking sedan? That's like the most dangerous thing on the fucking highways ever in America. That like person's like near clueless. You want them running a nuclear powered nation versus another one that fucking uses AI and game theory to plan their moves? What do you think's gonna fucking happen, you know? The new age counting their meal, yeah. Perfect. Yeah, Trump and Boris are like Dumb and Dumber. Like, this motherfucker Boris is talking about herd immunity. You are actually going to give the disease to your own people? Even fucking the Chinese couldn't hope for such a dumbass response. Like, well, shit. If we knew you'd actually fucking infect your population, who knew? Like, shit, we're trying to fuck you in the ass and you're gonna help us? That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. That guy should be pulled out of office. He's a fucking idiot. But you know, what surrounds the fucking guy that you consider the point of value? Even dumber people, right? Trump's not surrounded by geniuses. He's surrounded by people that are actually fucking got extra chromosomes and inbred. They're dumber than fucking batshit. That's the only way he's the fucking pinnacle of that system, is because he's the relatively the best piece of shit in the system. So it's a crazy position. So okay, we get the idea. This thing is bull market. Not enough resolution to do any TA on it. I wish I had like lower time frames. I could actually probably call the top of this thing if I could see structure better. So that's that chart. We don't need that guy anymore. Wait a minute. Okay. So I was looking at some of these things. Let's look at. I'm gonna do crypto today too. I haven't had like very crypto focused stuff. We touched on it a little bit, but with VIX and pandemic, I've been pretty traditional market centric. So I'm going to try to get around to a couple of asset classes I haven't had time to like really go to. I know the sun's coming up. There's no way to get this on earlier, so I'll do a daylight show. I'm cool with it. I'm rocking the mask that works in daylight, so no glow in the dark effects. Alright, so we got this up here. I want to look at, let's look at NASDAQ, IXIC. Alright, so, oh fuck. Go back out a little bit. So this is the guy we drew up from Wrecked Hour and a couple shows. This is the Trump eggplant TA thing, remember? So that was the forecast. Remember, it was about, okay, something's not right here. No, that wasn't logarithmic. It was on monthly, that's why. Okay, yeah. So this is looking at back when we talked about, you know, last summer that Trump was getting the impeachment fractal, which was Clinton. And then you had Clinton's eggplant from when everyone thought he's dead to the internet bubble. Then you have Obama's eggplant, the biggest one of them all. It's so perfect. And then, of course, Trump's eggplant would be fucking, you know, probably the least impressive of them all, which it turned out to be. It's crazy as fuck. You know, smaller and shorter than everyone could have ever hoped it would be. So this thing actually turned out to work out. We thought the top would probably come right by the election time in front of it, but it came just a little bit higher, a little bit sooner, and we got a dump. So now we're down here into the last core shockwave that actually let this happen. So Trump is actually wiped out in the Dow Jones. Trump has actually wiped out his whole presidency now. So Donald Trump takes office. His non-reaction has literally wiped out the thing that was his badge of honor, right? He takes office November, middle of November. So I'll go down to a lower resolution, but this is Trump taking office. Literally, the entire pump of his election is now fully wiped out. Isn't that nuts? So the only thing left is Obama's eggplant. Trump has actually removed the part of the bull market that Obama fucking created that led to his bull market, and his non-reaction to COVID has fully erased the entire fucking leg since office in just 2 weeks. That's nuts. 3 weeks. Fucking crazy, right? What a BBC. Oh, come on. You put a porn term in my chat? What's wrong with you? I ain't joke from the past shows. Oh, yeah, if you haven't seen the other shows, so the eggplant TA is a thing. Let's see, Jane the Rule of Adam is okay. The EOS is going to say crypto. Okay, yeah. There's a past show. So we continue into shows. So the analysis, we kind of just unfold it into each show and kind of advance it, you know, based on that. So this kind of is how I always did Twitter. Is that I would my analysis was always threaded, so over time the unfolding history could be be in chronological order, and you could have accurate context of history for the moment that things unfolded when you look back, without the skews of our ego and emotions distorting what the past was to make it fit our narratives. You have to keep context of history, because part of being a good technician is being a good historian. If you're going to read fractal human behaviors coming around again, you have to have an accurate read on history, not the one you want. So yeah, there's Trump's wiping that out. So I was looking at this, and let's go back to I should use a Dow 100 chart. Well, I'm not gonna open it. That thing goes fucking crazy. So we'll just do this. So this is logarithmic, right? To look at the real reality is how bad this exactly is. We need more time than this. Probably give us all right. So that's back 100 years, right? We don't have the whole bubble thing, but that's fine. And we look at the damage that really in logarithmic scaling, it's not actually the end of the world, but the speed of this, if you think about 2018 end of the year, this traumatized the fuck out of people. This little move here, this is absolutely scary as fuck. But when you look at this in context, right, the US might not be done. It's just, where does this actually stop? How far does this counterwave go to maintain trend structure? Because if we're looking at like trend structure, right? Oh my god. All right, I'm having hell on earth drawing a straight line today. We look at this trend structure, and these are your major levels, right? But along like something like this. Jesus Christ, fucking ugliest shit ever is getting drawn today. On this leg, this would make the 100-year Dow. We'll put something different here, like yellow. So, you have your different resolution rising floors, right? You have your trend structure here, and then the market, challenges like your trend structure, goes into shock waves. I guess that works. That does not work. God, I hate orange. I won't do it. I won't do it, Jester. That'll work. No, that's terrible. Fuck's sakes. We're white it is. Shockwave. You go back to your trend structure, right? When you break out again. I'm showing you guys how waves move from shockwave to trend structure. This is a much lower res, pump. You probably have like a little bit of, trend structure. You can see there, little wave. Market compromises the wave here. Kicks everybody out. Shockwave up here. And you have trend structure out of there. Again, at a resolution that you don't actually see it, like waveform like this. And you look at it like, so technically, like, your biggest shockwave, to launch these things, like wave one, oh, I forgot to put that in there. Not the greatest. I know, it's not my best drawing. But I'm showing you this, right? So we have wave one, wave two, and we're in what is technically wave three. And he's correcting deep. As far as some of these go, you look at like this guy in the middle. And this is Black Monday. And this is likely our Black Monday too, right? Because there's likely an unfolding credit crisis behind this guy. So how big does this guy really get? We had kind of measured him and thought that he would violate like this fractal here, this box range here, and he could do the same, but he's now well cleaned through it. So how deep does it go? Because we know that any fucking crash that happens, however deep he gets, as long as he holds the low above that, he is still an uptrend. Anything that comes and fails to take out the last major low that generates this wave equals a bear trap. But how deep is the bear trap? That is obviously the question. Where's the bottom of asset prices here? We already know where the VIX should be, right? We talked about the VIX on the last show, and gave you guys basically not only not only did we give you guys the fact that the pandemic was coming in the VIX structure, I gave you guys the top of it too, the top of fear, right? In the last show, I gave you this level from the banking crisis. I said, watch it. This is likely where we fucking can see fear have a real chance to fucking stall. And if we get a crash cycle, a dump off of this thing, then the market is caught up to the realization that this thing is dangerous. That doesn't mean asset prices stay bouncing though. You know, somebody's like, does this mean this is the bottom? The top of fear isn't actually the bottom of asset prices. Much like the banking crisis. Oops. Sorry. Much like the banking crisis, right? The market is crashing this entire time period. This entire time period, the market is actually going off a fucking cliff. So it's not a good idea to touch stocks. I've shown you guys that with an overlay of the S&P 500. SPX. Come on. So like, it's not safe to actually turn to this, right? The market can do really vicious things. See, he tops here in October, but the market fucking goes through the floor for the next 5 months. This entire thing happens after the VIX tops out. And that's what really murders everybody into the front of 2009. But the VIX is actually coming down. All this really means is that the fucking market expectations of forward risk are now fully realized. It doesn't mean that the risks are actually gone. So that's one of the things people think, okay, to high VIX means buy the market. That's why I didn't tell you the market was a low, but the VIX itself likely topped out. This is the first thing you need, is that basically the crowd is catching up to the realizations. That's the first thing. Now the reaction has to change, the fundamental dynamics that are allowing the disease to continue to spread. If we have mutation or we accelerate, this can very much throw itself back up. But this is pretty cool. You guys know that yesterday was the second biggest down day in the VXX ever. And so this likely, this is a 20% pullback right now, 25% pullback coming off of the VIX spike. So we got our fucking high break and we gave you guys the high of VIX. The thing that pretty much the entire world is freaking out where the fuck it was going. And from that was really the only play that the fear gauge itself had stopped. So back to some companies here. Like Apple was one of our big companies that we did in the pandemic, especially to figure out the top was actually likely there. And you see from Apple the correlation, right? Catching Apple's wave. Just think about it. Apple's actually wave structure matches the realization of COVID-19 spreading worldwide. All the information that you think is a black swan is technically perfectly in the price without even knowing about COVID at the point here. Just that the fucking realities of the wave structure likely meant that the market needed a breather. So, you don't have to fucking have the fundamentals that the wealthy elites inside the Republicans' secret meetings had. We actually found the location of the pullback before they even got the news. Who gives a shit, right? Good technicals will put you in the same place as good fundamentals. It's all the same thing. So, that being said, it's pretty crazy. So let's look at this. Apple is not falling quite to the degree of what we're seeing here out of the S&P. S&P is down 2018 lows. Apple is nowhere near that. So he's a stronger asset inside of it. That's worth looking at. Let me take this off real quick. So let's see. Put this guy back, and he's in logarithmic. Okay, go back up to 3 months. Let's look at Apple. So this is Apple for his lifetime. And logarithmic scaling gives you a different, perspective on things. It keeps the price basically relative all the way up. One of the things when you do with a linear chart is, I talked about this in old shows, but I'll do it for newer guys here. In a linear chart, right, $20 to $40, 20 points is a 100% move. But up here, right, 20 points is not. But linear scaling skews the fucking chart as it rises nominally in numbers. To keep the relativity of price from the pennies to really extreme price differentials, that's what logarithmic charts do. So that a move that's 100% gain is relatively similar, anywhere in the chart. So when you look at logarithmic scaling, you use it for really big time frames to normalize the behavior of the chart across spans of time that are hard to compare. And so when I looked at this, right, this is Apple now. See, it's the end of the United States, or it's a blip on the radar. So how bad can this get? It's really not as crazy as it appears. And the fear structure is now topped out with the banking crisis. The banking crisis, as far as this chart goes, is fucking turned around here. This is the banking crisis. it doesn't look half as fucking terrifying here as it does, the way we look at it linearly and up close. And that's one of the things that happen in the real time moment is your emotions distort that moment. And then later in time when the emotions are gone, you look back and it looks completely different. That's one of the reasons people have such a hard time with context of history is that the moment that things were unfolding, the emotions at the moment distorted the realities of the world you live in. Later, without the emotions or the news of that time, you can see things much clearer. But in the moment is the most difficult. So let's look at some of these guys. He doesn't look so crazy. Looked at this one earlier today and I saw something. This is Microsoft. And this chart, unbelievably, like Tesla, I've seen this before. How many of you have any idea where you've seen this before? I've seen this before. You've seen this before. What do you guys think? Where have you seen this before? I'm gonna let's play some living audience trivia. Where have you seen this chart before? Am I analyzing the stock market? Just watch the show. It's like very easy to figure out what I'm doing, bro. I'm pretty direct. Um, must be my screen seems frozen. Are you guys seeing anything freezing over here? Somebody said pausing. Or is everybody good on video? We're good? Looks like BTC. Look at you guys. You motherfuckers. So you see it. Yeah, that looks a lot like BTC, right? So I saw that too. So let me get this next to you. So this is a perspective matters shit. Like watch this. This is so crazy. So where do you put Microsoft on the right? We'll do it left to right. Okay, Microsoft. And logarithmic 3 month. Alright, so we'll do the left side there. And 1987. Damn, I can't believe how many of you got it. I didn't say anything to nobody. How'd you guys know? You're starting to get your fractal pattern recognition skills up. I might be in danger. Who's gonna be the next OG to try to rip me off and pretend he knows fractals? Don't steal my thunder. Right now, this is my only trick. So let's see, Microsoft on the right. Let's see, I need a Bitcoin chart that's not wrecked. Which one doesn't have a million? Ooh, I have a million drawings on shit here. That's so dumb. I won't be able to fucking put this up the way I want. Let me get a. Maybe I have a Bitcoin chart that doesn't have anything on it. How about you? Nope. Wait, no drawings on that guy. I want bitstamps. There you are. And we'll use a weekly for you. Nope, too little time. Oh, there it is. Recognize that shape? It's pretty crazy. Nope, I need a different time frame. Monthly? There he goes. That's the right scaling. I need a chart that won't have a million drawings on it when I hit this button. Fuck. Let's see. Does any other chart have all the data on it? Oh, son of a bitch. This goes a lot smoother when I can see shit. My bad. Let me get this there. Nope, his data's cut off. This is not. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm just gonna need a chart. This is driving me crazy. 100 years of the Dow. Give me him. We'll use this instead. Oh yeah, I didn't think of that, Red. That's a good point. All right, there we go. I have BTC on the left. Fine, we'll just do it there. So this is BTC. This is some measurement I did from God knows when. Let me get this off. This fucking line could be bigger. You go away. And then Microsoft is on the right. So this is where I actually found out. I was in my logarithmic Dow chart, and I was like, what the fuck? It's like, I know that shape. So this guy is on the left is monthly. This guy on the right is 3 monthly. And right. So this is pretty cool. Like looking at this. this top in Bitcoin is fucking like, you know, Bitcoin 20,000, and pretty much the moment that everyone thought that the U.S. isn't gonna be in trouble, and then it was. You know, if this does anything like this, here we go. You know, we have our ejection wick out here in the first correction. We have that guy over here. We kind of watched the structure from that point. Well, that was really ridiculous. Move. The parabolic arc. So, trying to look at this thing, need to come down to resolution, right? Where does this guy go? It creates a shockwave off of the major correction, which we're in. We're in that major correction now. It creates a shockwave that likely is going to be something we deal with as the quarantines and lockdowns increase. There won't be forward visibility on the economy yet, so you're going to have likely further deflation to asset prices. Even if the fear gauge comes down, there is no real forward valuation proposition that says that any risk capital is going to push this to any other level. The central bank, having unlimited asset purchasing means that yes, they're going to dilute the currency and they're going to reprice assets. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to stave off deflation. So likely we get some kind of version of that thing. So let's see. Let me look at this guy. And first correction bar down. It's likely something like what do we see here? So we got to figure out where that wave goes, right? So this wave forms here, and he dumps to what appears to be. Give me a pretty color. Give me a pretty color. Whatever's here. It's likely a shockwave in a lower resolution. He dumps to form a box range down there, a trough, which he rallies from to go and test where he came from. So if this was to repeat that, we'd like to see something like that. So he'd have to dump to a structure that's fractally similar to this guy. And we zoom into this guy over here. Wait a minute, Microsoft, we need to go down to monthly. And that's it. If we take him down to time frame 2, let's see, we're on monthly over here, we go into a weekly, drop the time frame on both. And let's look at the structure we see, and we can actually see it. So we're looking for something that basically, right, there's a counter structure, the bull flag, that shoots up to a smaller structure even. This is another shockwave and another resolution, and then climaxes. You have it, it's right there. That's the bull flag. And then the lower resolution bull flags here, and climax and dump. So we literally have a very, very similar fractal structure in price, coming from a pretty euphoric point, which is fractally similar to the emotional structure the guys in the top of the BTC here. So if we get this guy to evolve this structure, where is it? I'll use. Okay, fuck it. I'll use orange. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, not there. Ah. So I can't do a projection of orange. That's just a terrible color. All right, I need something that's not hideous when this works later. Let's see. Enough yellow. Don't like that either. Don't like him. Fuck. They're all terrible. You think you have so many colors and then they all suck ass when you need something. Fuck it. It's white. So we're basically need to see him ping pong around. Oh man, my drawings come out horrible. And then dump bar into that shockwave over here, and then fucking dick off. Probably take 2 years like the Spanish flu to really turn the corner and fucking go out towards 2023 and retrace back up into that area there. But he's got the structure to do it, and we've got the levels to see it. So this thing should shockwave and base pretty much in line with the lower resolution shockwave, and then dump bar to the shockwave underneath it from a bigger time scale, and then create a box range down there. and come back if we follow this fractal. Remember, when you find stuff like this, it's not like it has to do it because you found this. You like it's a loose guide. You still have to use, lower resolution. You're not trading on fucking timescales like this, most of you anyway. So you still have to use common sense and risk management. If it doesn't do it, it doesn't do it. But this actually looks rather stunning, and the emotional structure of the both populations pretty fucking close. Yeah. So it's pretty crazy, right? Microsoft might be the giveaway here with the matching BTC structure. And if you think about it, if it takes this kind of time, two years out, it kind of fits, 2-3 years out, Spanish flu kind of time horizon to get out of this shit. We really don't go anywhere for a while. Trump, this massive correction, just like BTC, it requires time to heal. When you get huge pullbacks, they don't V-bottom back up like people hope. And the people who miss this entire arc, when this shows up, one of the reasons it's so devastating is that all the people who were terrified all the way up finally decide that it's a good time to buy, and they walk in front and they feed the fucking trend the opposite direction. Because, the majority aren't the fucking winners in the market. So by the time the majority have the same idea, they're the fucking, tilted road of bias that fucking gets plowed to fucking allow a trend to happen. Same as the people who doubted the way up, the people who fucking fail to see what's really happening on the way down and say alter back, they feed it on the way down. All the people who didn't believe in Obama fucking finally believed in Trump and fucking got fucking destroyed. And so now that fucking sentiment right there, you see Trump tards are like fucking trying to spin his lies to fucking say that he didn't, mistime it. You have to wash out that moron, and then when that moron washes out and says, you know what, the world's gonna end, then you have a chance to really bottom. So until people want to stop buying the dip in the middle of a fucking pandemic, that's equally fucking retarded, right? The entire economy in the world is shut off. When it was pumping like wildfire and 5G is rolling out, nobody wanted to believe it. It's got to come down. The Fed is pumping it. Now that the economy's off, everyone wants to buy the dip. How fucking dumb is that? It's exactly when it's not making sense. So, there's a lot of flips in the rationale of the population that kind of tells you the crowd is actually in a position to feed a crash more than they are to fucking actually recognize what they're seeing. Just like they were in the opposite direction of the entire markup that was going on under Obama, they're now fucking like looking for buy the dip after fucking this happens in front of something you haven't seen in 100 years. That was a mouthful. Alright, everybody got that? That's a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's cool, right? That's a pretty badass fucking side by side. So let's see if the Microsoft Buttcoin fractal actually works out. And then as far as Bitcoin goes, it's the COVID chart, right? Don't need you. So Bitcoin, so that brings us back to crypto. So I said I'd cover some crypto for you guys that are crypto zealots. Let's grab BTC. So the gold fractal was kind of something we've been watching over here, right? GC1. He's now officially dead. The gold fractal is dead. Where's my drawings? So I'm going to go ahead and clean this guy up a bit regular. So this is whatever we drew last time I was on here. Take it down to daily. Let's just get this off of here. So these are some old technical levels too on the way up. I keep all my technical levels because price has memory. He'll always interact again. We'll put you in the right res for this. This needs to be a monthly. So that was the gold fractal, right? And that's what most people have been watching. Whoops, sorry. Let's get these ranges are for measurements on past shows. Let's clear this up so we can see better. Alright, Roger's ass, all that. Roger's ass up there's never happened. Got on knees Roger's ass and he took a fat shit on the market apparently. So gold fractal now fails. The long-term trend line from 2018 is now actually finally failed fully. And we have a different structure to watch for BTC now. And now no one has a guide from fucking the gold fractal to go, I know what's next, I know what's next. Because when they finally believed in the gold fractal, guess what happened? Like any market, when everybody finally believes in it, it changes course. And one of the things I told you guys in past shows, many people once they know it's a gold fractal, it began to deviate to the point it didn't even look like it was actually there anymore. And now it's finally fully not there anymore. So let's go up a time frame on that. So let's see. Oh, something is not right here. Right, so that was the way he was. That's too high. But this shows you the structure of what I had over here to mark out, right? Those are projected paths. So this path is done. So bye-bye, Prath. Okay, he's gone for good. Let's clear up some things. So no more gold fractal. Roger's anus is no more. See you, Roger. Thanks for the jokes. Roger's booty, gone. Fractal booty. So let's look at fucking Bitcoin like we never knew about gold. Like, let's throw it out the window and let's go back to just reading price, for what it is. And that's the thing, right? If you're willing to read price regardless of like what your analysis says, if it changes, what your fundamentals are telling you in your analysis, then you got to be willing to change with the price. So price has invalidated the gold fractal, so fuck the gold fractal. We're now on to what is that? I thought I fucking just deleted my chart. I'm like, no. Alright, so fuck the left side. Let's blow this up and let's focus again. So now that we have this guy gone, we can go to probably some of my cleaner BTC charts that I don't have so many drawings on. I think yeah, that guy's pretty clean. We can just use him for now because I don't have a million things to delete on there. So what is the current state of Bitcoin now with that happening? You know what? We need the rest of that history. I can't do that. No, too many levels on that guy. Okay, that guy's clean. That's Phoenix. Cool. We can use that. This is Shadow's chart. This is nice and clean. So Shadow won't mind me making some adjustments. He'll be back too to talk to you guys about some markets pretty soon. Shadow strikes back, right? So, all right. I don't need any of these levels on here. I'll just go kill them all. Actually, stuff I want to leave on here. We're on weekly, monthly. So starting at highest time frame, what do you got? Right, we looked logarithmically and we saw what he looks like compared to Microsoft. Right, we know what he looks like. So as far as like the logarithmic world goes, that's a low point there that we have from 2018. This entire thing can become a box range for BTC. And how long he takes to clear this is the thing, right? Oh God, put down the box, you fucker. Right, so at some point like this, we look at this entire range, right? To the correction, the same fractal that's going on. Let's make a box range for him. When does he break out? No. Alright. He leaves going out the top of the box range here. I'll get something other than that color. And you're looking for something fractally similar, right? Whenever that occurs again. This will be an extension. Now obviously this arc that comes from here is what people were hoping for, is that like BTC would basically arc right out and do that here, right? But he didn't. So he's now in a corrective structure that stops that. But can that corrective structure be a bull flag? He can. He's a really fucked up looking one. But just to give you an idea over there, let's go back over here. And we're inside that box range we saw logarithmically, right? The whole rest of the history is so skewed you don't see it that way. But the entire version of this is actually down here, right? So we're now in a large version of it that we just drew in a logarithmic chart. We're looking back at it over here. And we know that, we're hoping to see something go out the top of something really humongous that has this whole thing in it. Okay, cool. Get that off of there. So what's it going to take for us to bottom? We know how we look at trends, right? We look at trends and waves. BTC, this is him on the way down. High is the last high that generates your next low, right? This becomes the next one that takes before this low gets cracked. No, this low has to get cracked for this to become a valid high to count. So that happens here. Once this happens here, that's when you really know this guy's your next lower high. And then it drives it through. This high recoils to this level and then drives you down into the pavement. This high is compromised here. So once you have that situation, everything else that happens until the low that's here is taken out is a potential bear trap, like we just talked about, right? Until this guy fails, this move has violated the trend structure coming down from 2017. So how deep does he go to shake people off to generate however low a bear trap without compromising this level? If he holds this, he's actually structurally in a more narrow scale of time reasonably healthy still, even as crazy as this move is in BTC. So, oh god damn it. Oh yeah, something's missing. I'm like, what the heck? So now we look at it like that. We've seen this wave has gone ahead and compromised the downtrend structure, and we know that when we look at trends, right, if we're looking at a trend that's falling, that's the last high that generates the low. We basically need to see price violated. And yeah, he might fall back through it. But as long as he holds a higher low, this is the beginnings of what can become the next leg that actually creates the definition of an uptrend, right? Rising lows and rising highs. The second this level is violated, that's the definition of an uptrend. So you're waiting for this to actually happen. So BTC has done that, right? He's done the falling lows and he's knocked out the last wave that generated the crash into the back of 2018. And now, how big is this section? New color, blue's a good time now. No blues. No, god damn it. This drives me fucking crazy. So we're now looking for like basically this section, right? We'll use fucking what did I say, blue. So this is that section here. We're looking for how this corrective structure can possibly turn out. Everybody can see that, right? It's pretty clear. So fucking thing with the color changing shit. Fucking driving me nuts. So we're looking for like, you know, the wave structure of the falling trend. He's effectively what did it like a 2B here. He almost stopped ran the high. He actually did. He double topped, so that doesn't even make it. So it's the same high. I actually didn't have to draw that wave. So he's still in the falling structure in the blue. Get the fuck off. Good God Almighty. All right, so he has to come out of the trajectory of this entire structure. So this flag now needs to be redrawn. He double tops here. So your rule is you connect the highs that generate your last low. Does he breach it? I think it's like almost perfect, right? $10,480. He doesn't breach it. He falls just short on this chart. Ivy, relax, girl. So your tendency is going to want to be to you always connect the high that generates the last low. This is technically the high that generated the last low because he doesn't make it. Generates this low, and so actually he generates a new low here, my fault. And then he rallies up and then fails to meet this high. So this is actually the right one to connect it to because he has a new low from that high. So your bull flag is going to be redesigned out here. Don't think that parallel is going to hold on the other side. Let's see if he does. Alright, so I know I've got the squiggles on there, you look crazy. But that's what you're watching, right? So now he would need to cross the channel, right? Because he's got the same thing here. He's a channel coming down and fucking cut through to give you something to do that with. To extend this and for this to cross this threshold to become an uptrend, just like this structure. So you've got your low, your high, your higher low, if this forms. And at this point, BTC is in an uptrend. And it'll be through like fucking 14K before you really see it. And if it's going to be anything like, you know, what a trend structure is, you have plenty of time from here. He's going to take out the whole box range, right? This will become the arc that takes you up to the box. From here, you're looking for him to basically arc to get you out of this entire box range. So Generally inside of a shockwave, it's super dangerous to sit in there trying to figure out when he breaks. Ultimately letting him break and playing a low risk setup going into these things is the easier money. The part of the money that market that made the most money in BTC is late 2017, right? That doesn't even happen to here. This is September. This entire part, the part you all remember, is the Great Bull Market of 2017. Just the fucking tip. Most people don't think of this entire arc from 2015 being it. But this is the entire arc. The part that most people care about in bull markets is the end, not the whole structure. So you look at the Dow Jones, again over here, right? Oh, there's my 100-year Dow chart. What's the part they care about, right? They don't care about the whole part from Obama all the way up to the election of Trump. The part everyone remembers is the part right in front of the crash, right? Just like Bitcoin. So from here, Obama has the bottom of the market. Trump is elected inside of, right here at 17, right here. Trump is elected right where you are. Sorry, 16, retarded. Right here. So this entire range you didn't give a shit about. And that's how it really is. If you even think about Clinton, what do you think of the internet bubble? The internet bubble that you guys remember is 1998 and on. But the entire arc is fucking coming out of the 80s. That's the way bull markets really work, right? This entire trend is built on the dead bodies of those who didn't think it was what it was until it was too late. And they said, it's a bull market. Fuck you. Well, fuck Obama. It's not a bull market. The Fed's manipulating. It's all kinds of bullshit. Yay, Trump, he did it all. I'm a buyer. Fuck you. That's the behavioral structure of the wave. So the crowd never gets it till right at the last minute. That's the real reality of it. And then their egos never let them admit that they fucking were morons the whole way up. So they lie about history. That's why I keep accurate records of your lying ass OGs who fucking try to cover up the fucking ineptitude that smokes whole people out of the internet because they're fucking idiots. They keep watching my show too to figure out hot tips to sell back to their audience. In time, it's going to become very obvious that they're just frauds. And that's why they're always fucking talking about me years after they haven't seen me. When you have that eggplant on your lips, bitch, you can taste it. So this is how you look at markets. And so we look at the structure. On this resolution, it's kind of a wait and see attitude. But, if you're going to go lower resolutions, then obviously you can go down and drill into this and say, well, if it is going to be the wave structure to take us out to get Bitcoin to cross the bull flag, then how will I attack playing this? And in this resolution, it's nothing different. We look at, get the fuck off. You look at the wave structure here. Forget about the whole chart. It's the same thing, right? Price is fractal. So we're looking at wave structures here to figure out, well, when could you actually take a shot? Whatever. I'll do it. I'll do it this time, goddammit. All right, and this is the last structure that drove him into the pavement. So Bitcoin actually has a lot of sorting out to do before you actually care. Just like the stock market, right? These risk assets came down correlated together, and the climactic low isn't necessarily rushing to get it. There are trades available to you if you're nimble enough down there. But structurally, you just like the stock market, you don't okay, I got to get back in Apple. No, it needs a minute. After humongous, massive volatile moves, you need time to fucking gather yourself. Your next massive move doesn't come directly out of another volatility. High volatility begets low volatility, begets high volatility, and so on. Everything is cyclical. So there's going to be a lot of oscillations until you have enough energy gathered for another massive markup. Crypto is still pretty dangerous as long as risk assets are not where you want them to be just yet, according to the VIX. Risk assumption globally is not there. Everyone's notion that, the Fed is printing infinite money, that equals Bitcoin. Again, crypto people are about the most uneducated pieces of shit that exist. Money isn't meant to deflate, otherwise you'd hoard it. Who the fuck wants to buy a piece of pizza with money that turns into $1 billion later? Nobody. So nobody will spend, which means you'll have an economic restraint on the system if everybody's money could be worth more than the business they'd stick it in. That's why they think Bitcoin makes sense, but don't understand the bankers understand that hoarding will occur with a deflationary currency. If you have an inflationary currency, the need to get it out of your fucking hands is what actually drives the creation of anything else to fucking hedge against the loss of value of money over time, or the time value of money problem. So by putting my money into a house, I can preserve the purchasing power of the house 10 years ago while it's inflating, and I make fucking gains in the denomination that's being inflated. That's why wealthy people hold assets and broke people hide money in their pillows, because they're fucking stupid, which is why they're fucking broke, because they don't know what money is or how to use it. Debt is what every business has something of on their balance sheet because that's what the fuck you do to leverage your business. Just like you guys go in BitMEX and borrow money, you don't have to buy 1,000 contracts of shit that's going to kill you. So it's the same thing, but people don't understand business, and most people in crypto have like less than a fucking 12th grade education and think they know fucking global macroeconomic finance. It's pretty ridiculous, but it's how they all got killed in 2017 because they're all actually just as dumb as fucking batshit. So that's why you watch them, because the OGs are the leaders of that bad shit, and they basically help kill everybody by nonstop cheerleading things and don't realize they're the dummy in the system. So the only thing that surrounds the dummy is a greater set of dummies. So are the OGs the bad guy? Or the fucking multitudes of people following that are too stupid to realize that they're killing them? They might deserve it. The reality is, if you fucking are objective, it takes 5 seconds to recognize everything they've tweeted for fucking years is exactly in the wrong place, which is why they show up every time we nail something, because they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. So they gotta go try and fucking ridicule me so that they can try to deflect from the fact that they just murdered half their following again for the millionth time. That's whatever. It's always, you gotta have haters, right? If people aren't fucking looking over your shoulder, you haven't done anything worth fucking looking over your shoulder for. So it kind of tells you that you're in the right direction. Looking at this again, like we said, there's time to let this develop. The projection here, time-wise, we're into the election year. Elections are likely stalled. Risk assets are likely in trouble. Don't know that this timeline is accurate for the balance, but this is structurally what you're looking for and to do. Litecoin, yeah, Litecoin mapped out pretty good. Not that Litecoin. Other Litecoin. Alright, so we talked about this. This is the range I told you Litecoin really needed to get to. The core zone that I thought he had to be in to be actually bottom. So he's actually finally just done it. We had a projection here for the way he was bouncing. Bounced a little bit, failed projection. Target zone is actually hit. So this is now the full crash cycle of like the NASDAQ has run over here, including what would be the crash after the internet bubble, the reflation trade of the housing crisis, the fucking housing crisis itself, and retest. This is what you had to have before you actually got the next wave that was much larger. I didn't open that program to show you the full crash cycle, but yeah, this is actually the whole crash cycle, right? Most people look at just this part here and leave out like the continuation of what it is. All right, this part's the part everyone cares about, the crash cycle, but this is also a secondary move in the crash cycle that finishes it off. And then you get structurally larger things. IXIC. Oh, I had too much shit on there. Alright, this is the crash cycle. Not there. The one that everybody knows from the charts is this one, right? And the real whole history of the crash cycle is you have the arbitrage of perception, the winter of your discontent, the reflation trade, and then what kicks everybody out is the backbreaker move, right? It doesn't dip as hard in this thing. Oh wait. Hey, caramba, fucking moved off the chart. That orange is hideous, bro. Hideous. How does anybody fucking use that color? Oh my god, stop. I should have used it weekly. I have too much drawings on there. Let me get something else. MQ1 exclamation point. There you go. That's cleaner. All this not in there. Fuck sakes. Well, you get the idea. So, arc of perception, winter of your discontent, the reflation trade, and then fuck you one more time, and right there, and then you can go and do it again. So it's like a secondary move that actually kills people psychologically, that finishes off anybody who held on hope. Crypto is kind of in that same predicament, right? LTC, the secondary crash, this is the one that finishes people completely off psychologically to allow the arc, the bigger fractal version of what happened in the last cycle. LTC, if you look at him, is just done that shape now. So he's just really finishing the cycle. It's the crash cycle really hadn't finished, because most people don't understand the whole crash cycle isn't what most people study out there on the walls. That's not the complete cycle. This is. So now he's done it, right? Internet bubble, the crash of the internet bubble, the housing crisis, and then get the fuck out. Now you're in a place where people are like, God damn it, I've lost my entire ass waiting for this thing. The psychology is kind of there. You still have enough crypto zealotry that it's kind of psychologically not where you want it to be full tilt, but structurally, it's where it needs to be. The psychology is not quite there. Even with with what's going on with central banks and stuff like that, it's actually giving them hope, which is kind of dangerous for this to be what we want it to be. But we can see where it is. You know what the wave structure of Bitcoin is now, and you have to let him do what he's going to do. If this guy's going to bounce out of here, he's going to create a series of rising floors to leave that you're going to be able to watch and figure out as he creates the waveforms necessary to get himself out of here. Even if it's a correction and goes back again, you're just going to manage the waveforms until he turns into what it needs to be. You're going to get over this before you really want to fucking think that this is about to be a monstrous kind of thing, right? This wave is going to have to ultimately get through here and then do what we said in Bitcoin and then do that again. And that's when your next bull phase can actually really happen. So you've got time yet to wait for this to show that reality. And like I told you, the biggest money is not made in the fucking early part of the bull market. It's made in the tail end of it, when the fucking dummies pile in and really accelerate things. You have time still to feel like you're missing the boat if it's coming. EOS, people keep asking about this fucking coin. Shut up about this coin. That's your analysis. Fucking EOS. Who the fuck cares about the thing? XRP Army, fucking most crowded trade ever. Fucking absolutely ground into the dust. This is their fucking their hope right now. This is such a bad time to do that. Alright, we have a decent fucking shockwave over here. Lots of volume is in that. This is the best place if it's ever going to stop. You have a few currencies that are in a place at least looks like bottomable, but needs better structures on lower resolutions before you want to start to fucking play for any meaningful amount of time. BNB, right? BNB's fractal. It's falling, well, of what I thought oil could do. Oil is now deviated from this with the world route. This is a technical structure of BNB. And this is the same thing. This is the crash cycle, right? Arc of perception, whenever you're discontent, housing crisis, get the fuck out. That's the whole crash cycle. Not just the part goes buck. That's not it. There's a secondary reaction. It's like a heartbeat. It's the same shape in the universe everywhere. Your heartbeat, boom, boom, boom. That's the universe. Everything's like that. All right. That's a lot of stuff. Let me catch up. You guys like that EOS fucking analysis, right? That shit was fucking top notch. Alright, let's see. Damn, System 3. Fucking shit. You guys are fucking dropping stacks. You guys must be fucking crushing some shit out there. Appreciate you always, man. For anybody that's fucking supposed to do some shit like that, that's pretty fucking cool. Let's see. Bandy Boob. I see Bandy Boob's name. Peter R. Respect, homie. Appreciate the bits as always. Dumpet Crumpet. Got it. Thanks, dude. BTC could moon when banks worldwide start to impose cash withdrawal limits. And BTC could, if that's the basis of your analysis, just delete that. The BTC could do X for the last fucking bazillion years has been the same stupid narrative out of every crypto troll that doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about and is hoping. Hopium is not an analysis. You don't actually know why it should moon. So stop speculating on a reason that you hope it would be so you can justify your bullshit. That's how everyone gets killed in the market, is making up shit you don't know and then acting like it's real and then making a decision based on your fucking fantasy that you superimpose over reality. That's the nice fancy way of saying you're fucking crazy. Don't do that. I think the sun won't burn my skin. I'll just stand out here for 16 hours. You know what? I have cancer. Bro, that's not smart. If you don't know it makes any sense, don't guess. It's a terrible thing to do in markets, especially with your money. Papa Django, respect, homie. Let's see. What do you have here? We need to... What the fuck? Sheeple Man, are you out of your fucking skin? Oh, you got the good graphics. You guys like that? That's a badass animation. You're the fucking boss, dude. Appreciate you. Holy fuck. You guys are out of control. I guess you killed it because the whole rest of the world died and y'all are still here. So I hope you did. That's the whole point. We want this to be like the CNBC that wasn't. The thing that doesn't send you in front of a fucking train, that when you turn on the TV, you don't come out more broke every fucking time. That's what mainstream media generally does. It sticks you in front of a train and gets you murdered, When I was in college, I always thought it was supposed to help you out. So one of the reasons that I worked on the accuracy of my analysis was that if I ever got on the TV, I didn't want to kill every motherfucker that was hoping I wouldn't tell you something stupid. That's literally the main motive of working on the accuracy at degrees. If ever I'm the dude from the floor of JP Morgan that gets on there, I am not telling you the exact fucking low to fucking sell into Amazon and have it moon in your face. That's an idiot. You have one shot. You get on TV. Are you really going to kill everybody? It's like an unbelievable thought. So I wanted to produce, analysis that everybody could use. You don't have to be a fucking rocket scientist to figure out. And it was actually fucking useful, so you got what you came for, Like, hey man, I came to buy some hot dogs. Well, I don't actually sell that. It's a hot dog stand. Well, I have some popcorn. Get the fuck out of here. Like, you came for hot dogs. I'm supposed to have a hot dog, right? Don't eat those things. They're fucking deadly. So yeah, that's the basis. I really appreciate you guys that find value in the show, man. That's fucking crazy. Didn't expect that at all, but thanks so much. Fractal, you guys are out of control. I hope you motherfuckers are actually raping the market out there. Jesus Christ, you rock. So I'm on that BNB chart, and you know, at this resolution, actually, if you look at BNB here, this is CZ's retirement plan. Let's see. Actually, should back up the time frame. Kind of see. What do I see there? Looky. So like in this structure, there is no waveform right here. God, that okay. Sorry, Jester. It can never be again. I am not using orange. That just looks fucking terrible. It's not the cleanest, but right. What really a crash cycle is a bull flag. When you're zoomed in, fucking really close, you don't see it that way. But there's only one shape in the market, a crash cycle. This guy looks like a big version is fucking starting to happen there, right? He's a big bull flag. So if CZ's gonna have his revenge, it's when the larger, oh my god, I can't see, my eyes. Okay, if CZ's fucking gonna have his revenge, right, it's gonna be the same thing as Bitcoin, like, oh my gosh, not that. Correction across the flag to take him out, to get him structurally ready to do something else on a much larger res. So if crypto is going to have another run that like blows out the 20,000 run on Bitcoin, and the halving is going to contract the supply and create that, you know, Ponzi effect, the next wave should be even larger if it sucks in more people, because really the scale of this is really just the amount of participants, right? The shape of the behavior is the same. The only thing different in one scale size versus the next is there's more humans in this, but the behavior of the crowd doesn't change at all. RG to state you're the man. So we're looking at this to basically replicate, and you would need even greater amounts of humans to dogpile into crypto. The U.S. government supposedly has a plan, according to CoinDesk, of a digital currency to speed up distribution of things, you know, in a pandemic situation as part of their plan, you know, in this bailout stimulus for pandemics. Somebody had asked, is that going to mean that Bitcoin will be more favorable? The likelihood is that if you get the U.S. government to walk into the market for your alternative digital money, and they bring in their own digital money and have the fucking powers of regulation across the waters, you know, on their side, crypto is probably more danger than anything. You know, ultimately, they have to make the rule structure for you to get to use your currency somewhere. And without that, the utility of being able to go to Walmart or go to Best Buy or go on Amazon and shop in BTC, you don't have the velocity of capital through the ledger that actually is what the market cap is based on. Like I said, Mark Andreessen said it best. Right? To understand BTC's market cap versus how many hodlers in it, like your hodlers don't make the price higher or lower, right? If everybody in the planet owns Bitcoin and none of us transacted, this thing can be sent to zero by the first seller if there's nothing in the order book to support it. So that's not what makes BTC's market cap what it is. It is, think of like market cap in BTC like a garden hose, and the amount of water you fire through it will require the garden hose to expand to accommodate it. That's market cap. The velocity of capital through the ledger at any given moment dictates the size of the fucking conduit for it to go through. So BTC needs velocity of capital, basically people and transactions, and increasing speeds to actually expand the market cap. There has to be flat out more fucking people going through BTC per fucking day than was in the 2017 bull market to expand the market cap beyond BTC in 2017 and crypto as a whole. So you need to have a surge where there is an influx of humans that get in there at greater rates than 2017. And that's one of the big problems, is that the fundamentals that allowed this ridiculous pouring in of people, 30,000 to 50,000 to 100,000 account formations a day from Binance to Coinbase, that doesn't actually exist. So you need a portal of entry to allow that many humans to dogpile the fucking asset class to actually fucking expand the conduit. Right now, you don't really have the fundamentals in place to see that, right? You need a whole country exodusing into this coin or something like that from, like, you know, a severe situation to actually give you that kind of a situation. Does anybody in Italy or fucking Spain or any of those places think I need to run from the euro to Bitcoin as the alternative to figure out how to get food and stuff for my family in a fucking world where I don't know where I can spend Bitcoin? The fundamentals aren't in place for a person to make that leap of faith to run from what they know to something they don't know in a time of complete panic, it's too speculative an asset to be like rooted in that fundamental. Forward in time, digital currencies likely do become more acceptable and cash goes away. The pandemic has a side effect now of, well, this dirty money has your fucking bacteria on it. You could give me germs with that. That is actually an interesting catalyst to actually get people to go, you know what? I don't want your fucking dirty money. So you actually have like the crowd reaction to fucking catching diseases off of fucking things we're touching to give them the dynamic of staying away from each other and operating through teleconferencing software and possibly just send me digital money and not, I don't want your cash bills, just in case. And now you have a impetus to actually have like virtual money. Unfortunately, government sanctioned virtual money around the world or digital money is going to be a threat to what crypto was supposed to be, because you ultimately have the powers that be that write the laws to take that denomination in a position to fuck you in these denominations. So those are some of the hurdles ahead for it, you know. But like I said, blockchain has a place out there, but it's not reached a place that like the internet where we can live on it yet. It's still in the early phase of like what the internet could do for the world, 1999 stuff, versus like we're all living on the internet, no one gives a shit about stolen identities anymore. So we all shop on there with our credit cards and don't think twice. In 2000, putting your credit card online was terrifying. So the internet couldn't do what everyone wanted it to do. Their expectations front ran the reality. And crypto's the same thing, right? The emotional, oh my god, crypto is pretty much 1999 internet. All the people who said that though aren't around for fucking Amazon 2000. They were early. The crowd's emotions distorted the actual realities of the fundamentals of this tech being able to do what they thought it should. And that's true in every market. The crowd mistimes reality. And that's what you make money on, is the crowd thinking X and reality being Y. And that closing of that differential is the arbitrage of perception, where speculators make money when the crowd finally comes to the realization of what they didn't fully value. That's the same as the VIX, right? The crowd wasn't as terrified as the VIX indicated. Now that the crowd is as terrified, the VIX is now fully valued. So that's kind of like a whole long-winded technical fundamental babble that should give you some context. That was a lot. All right, what the heck time is it? That was a mouthful. You guys are like, what the fuck is he saying right now? So that's your crypto rundown, and I didn't give you many of those. I'm going to probably go back and finish with stocks as we go into the morning open. Let's see. All right, I'm catching up. Let's see. So should long-term short Microsoft? Just getting what's the belief structure? Do you see people in Microsoft that are similar to BTC? You're coming off a very euphoric period in the stock market up there at, January, basically at the highs that we are. There is definitely decent euphoria. Trump is the most euphoric fucking person you've ever seen, smashing everyone's face. And the U.S. is on the path into the 2020s to the future. No one is looking for what happened. BTC, same thing. Like, they thought BTC is sold. The world is ready for it, and that same fucking psychology fucking let them stand there while it ran them back over. This unfolded much faster with the pandemic than even BTC came apart. You almost didn't have time to fucking think for a lot of people. Thanks, Ferdinand. What do you think about Zoom video today? So that's actually a couple shows ago. There's a highlight clip actually on my wall if you want to go look. And I actually had the cruise ships in the show after the pandemic special when CCL was, 30. So I did a show the day before they got the virus on the boat off the coast of Cali, up here, not there. Oh, my weekly. The highlights there from it on the wall on Twitch. So it was right before they got the virus on the boat, and he did this little rally and then fucking shit himself. We have a show that we talked about it, and at that moment, that same point, I showed you this: Zoom versus antisocial versus social. All right, this is the real bull market. Remember that same point I showed you? This was like $3. This is your bull market. I put this right in the show for you guys. Buy something that would get me the fuck away from your sick ass, and sell the fucking thing that would get me infected by you. And that is the arbitrage of perception. Where would the crowd likely realize you got to go when they catch up? Fucking away from your fucking disease-infested anus. And teleconference. The same thing. Teledoc, right? Teledoc was like, fucking, I'm not coming to see your sick ass. You're fucking disease-ridden fucking motherfucker. And, anybody want to go to Disney World? Fuck you. right? That's a bull market. It's a differential of the crowd's understanding of what really is versus what they believe. And so this was the play to be in a bull market, which we showed you a couple shows ago. It actually, is it last show? I think it's a show before, 2 shows ago. But it's on the wall. It's like a 2-minute clip. I'm going to use it to make a bigger highlight, so I just left it floating there. But if you go look, there's a cruise ship highlight on the highlight wall. And I think this clip I have inside of it. So this was another bull market I handed to you guys along with the VIX warning. So if you guys played some of these things, I know some guys hit me back. They played Teledoc, they played Zoom, they played a whole bunch of people caught the cruise lines, which is pretty funny. That was the easiest play in the world. Like, fucking floating vessel of fucking diseases. It's like ridiculous. Who the fuck wants to get trapped in that in the middle of the fucking ocean right now? Only an idiot would get on a boat with a pandemic running loose. So yeah, this is your real bull market now, right? This is crypto level fucking trajectory, isn't it? And most people are like, oh, the world's crashing. There's always a bull market somewhere. It's just a matter of perspective. We are discussing this in our group, but the Fed's actions seem super insane these times, but relative to other events like the banking crisis, are they really that different? Because someone thought about hyperinflation coming after the deflation period, but I thought that wouldn't happen because they will shrink the supply chain again. Well, they're staving off deflation, right? This unlimited purchase thing is basically, it's like, think of the monetary system like a hot air balloon. And, you have like the blower blowing the heat into it, but it has a hole at the top. If you cut the heat, right, the hot air will start to escape, and escape so fast it should start to fall. The Fed is basically pumping enough air into this fucking hole, into this balloon with a hole in it, to kind of balance out the deflationary force. They're not really in a place to fucking expand asset prices and have risk capital flood the market to do so. They're basically trying to fucking put as much air into the balloon as is coming out of it to basically absorb the deflationary pressures until the market can stabilize. And also rip the faces off of shorts to get them out of fucking dumping on the market with natural sellers, which basically compounds the fucking problem. So, if asset prices fall too far, stocks and, credit markets all become fucking, distressed. The ripple effects in the secondary credit markets will fucking knock the whole world offline in a moment. Fractional reserve banking runs, obviously you've got more credit in the system than you have assets to back, and it's this leverage. It's like when you go into BitMEX and you have a 10x margin, you may only have 10% of the overall money you have in the trade, so that only means you go lose 10% of the actual trade before you actually margin out the whole thing. The world runs like that too. You're trying to balance a leverage system for growth against the risks of full fucking insolvency. So the Fed has to do this to kind of like readjust it, or we run the risk of fully imploding on ourselves. And it looks to people from the outside looking in, well, you're manipulating things. No, they are leveraging assets that will produce future more assets. And as long as that works, that's called the business cycle. The problem is with crypto people is they don't have any education about economics or businesses. They're generally some moron that sucks on an e-pen that has some dog shit job. They don't know anything about economics before they start talking about bankers who've been building the planet for a couple hundred years. They have no idea what they're talking about. More money equals Bitcoin. More money equals Bitcoin. It's like a fucking like dumb fucking brain damaged fucking teenager. It's just saying the same stupid shit. You don't know anything. Just shut the fuck up. That'll help almost everybody in crypto. Just shut the fuck up. If you have the handle crypto in your name, you're probably an idiot. That's something we've come across with a good statistical significance. If your name is ABC Crypto or Crypto ABC, you're pretty much brain damaged. Only a fucktard doesn't understand anything about the world that actually names himself crypto shit in 2020. That's just a jackass. And they say the same dumb thing every fucking time. This is the time for Bitcoin. This is the time for Bitcoin. Been wrong 1,600 times before, but this one time you're definitely right. Like, dude, Jesus Christ. Dumb money doesn't know it's dumb. Whatever you do, if you see some fucking parrot saying that shit, fucking just short against his ass. Or whatever the fuck he does, go the other way. He's fucking like a crowd of idiots. That's as honest as I could be. Like, stop making up stuff you don't know. That will help you fucking not sound foolish, and I won't have to fucking chastise you like that. I do that so you don't keep saying dumb shit. I don't do it to be mean. I do it so you don't keep doing the thing that kills people who keep on saying dumb shit as they don't realize the reality in front of them does not confirm it whatsoever, and they become insolvent saying that dumb shit to the grave. Remember, trends are built on the dead bodies of those too ignorant to get out of the way of their own biases. If you've been saying the same wrong shit for fucking years and nothing that you're saying keeps turning into what you fucking expect it to be, either make a course correction or natural selection is going to wipe your ass off the face of the map. So, yeah, that's Zoom, Teledoc. I think I covered that. Let's see, what else did you guys ask me? Whoops, wrong screen. What the fuck? Mr. Doors, appreciate you, sir. I can see the cognizance against Microsoft during the run, thinking we were done as everyone went mobile. Microsoft has a big stake in like virtual offices and stuff too. If there's a VR world coming and like VR teleconferencing, Microsoft's actually got a good position. It's not a pure play, but there really isn't a pure play in VR. The really large companies have small divisions, for it. Rest in peace, Go Fractal. Yep. All right, let me catch up here. I'm gonna probably wrap here in a little bit. We are at hour and 30, so I think that's pretty long for anybody to get through before opening market. I want the guys and obviously Winter Soldiers in the channel to be able to finish watching this and be ready for the opening. So, trying to actually get like a morning show that gets you enough info in front of opening, and by evening show, if I'm not too fried, I'm gonna try to put in there in the night. If there's developments that are worth going over again, I'll do that. But I generally don't try to do a show where I don't have something to bring you that's of use or something new. So I don't do shows just to do them. Let's see. Doc hooking up the subs. Respect. Okay, I'm coming. Catching up. Man, am I hungry. Dude, RAM and fucking System 3, y'all are out of your motherfucking minds this morning. Munir, what's up, homie? Good to see you. One of the Winter Soldiers, appreciate you on the bits. BNB oil fractal looks like it could still be valid. Oil is not looking like that in the BNB oil fractal at all. That fucking liquidation and oil is savage as fuck. The BNB is actually the lead for the fractal of oil, not the other way around. Oil is massively deviated after that fucking route that came after the Russian oil price war. Everything is just wrecked. Let's see. UTC with Moon. Okay, don't know what that is. This is the CNBC you gotta watch. Damn right. That's what's up. Mr. Doris and Fractal Owl, respect again, RG Estate. You guys are fucking bombing today, boy. I feel like I should have some boobies out. Let's see. And what they're talking to you, Spotty, on is like, you don't realize how you think about things. Most people don't know how they think about a thing, but most people, their desire is front run reality, and what they wish things would be overrides like the reality of what they actually are. A lot of what I try to teach people is to separate that from your normal, habit. Most people do that, and that's why it's not valuable to do it, is to hope a thing is going to occur and then base your fucking trade on like a belief structure that's completely fabricated. That's what most people lose by, is that they don't have an accurate valuation of reality. What they're buying is a misprice of it from their biased lens. And people who pick up on that make money off guys like you who only want something to happen and make a trade based on that. You can't fucking define risk reward by a fucking belief based on just fantasy. That's just insane. You shouldn't be in markets, right? Whatever you fucking want, there's a good saying. You can trigger fundamentally, but you enter the market technically no matter what. Just because you believe a thing should be a certain way, until the fucking reality looks like it, it doesn't matter what you believe. Reality doesn't give a fuck about your opinion. And that's what people who fucking are all in their egos think, that the world needs to fit what they believe. And the only reason I was wrong is because the Fed manipulated things. No, you're just stupid. Don't understand that reality doesn't fit your fucking belief structure, and you can't fucking admit you're wrong. That's an egotistical asshole, and that's the guy that dies. All I did was, yeah, you ask a question. And they're telling you something to think about it. Buy for the long term? What does waiting 4 years buying for the long term mean if crypto's in a down cycle? You can't make up shit and make it make sense just because you want it to. When crypto turns up, whatever the fuck year that is, you buy that. Who gives a fuck what you waited for, what you think? What is it actually doing? Is it still going through the fucking floor? Don't stand in front of a speeding train, it'll fucking kill you. That's like common sense, Wait till he passes and then jump on the train tracks and do whatever you're gonna do. But just deal with reality as it is and stop trying to force it to be what you want it to be and then trying to make a decision on it. That's what people in the chat are trying to tell you. That's a dangerous behavior. The way you're talking is basically how crypto people keep on going ultra back, like a fucking chipmunk and getting wrecked. Let's see. It's good though. Ask the questions. We might seem kind of vicious, but it'll help you if you actually take it in. Is this the digital dollar that Dems put in? I don't know. Are you doing the Dems versus Republicans? The digital dollar has actually been suggested by actually the Federal Reserve. Whether in this particular bill it came from Dems, addition, that has nothing to do with negative rates. So is this digital dollar that the Dems put in to send out cash or to impose negative rates? That entire question is completely rooted in your belief about like a conspiracy about the Dems. Digital money and the idea for it started with the Fed and Bank of England actually agreed on it. They were both big on the idea of digital currencies. One, it gets rid of the ability to hide money from the government, right? And they are about collecting their receipts for tax revenues. So digital dollar helps to make sure you collect all your money and nobody has money in a mattress. It gives accountability. Negative rates is a open market operation. It doesn't have anything to do with it being digital or not, right? Europe has fucking negative rates and doesn't have a digital currency. So with that right in your face, you could understand that has nothing to do with it. So you're conflating your bias with what you think about fucking crypto and fucking digital money equals evil, and you're putting it into your question, which I can completely see. All right, I think the spotty thing has been covered. Venmo, Cash App, Apple Pay. Never bought Zeg during any of it. That's the big eye opener. Crypto is integral to many networks being used by serious enterprises unless state controls all of these networks. Crypto is invincible. No, crypto people are stupid and crypto is garbage. And anybody saying that's dumber than fucking dumb. Sorry. Stop talking out of your ass. You came here to get someone to tell you the truth, right? Not lie to you. That's what crypto fucking OGs do. They tell you the kind of shit that makes you repeat dumb shit like that in the face of a crash. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I don't fucking care if you like it or not. I care about accuracy. So I don't bullshit you into fucking fantasies. It's either going up or it's going down, and your opinion is garbage. It means nothing. I'm not trading. I'm investing. Okay. Big mistake. If you think trading is different than investing, you are too uneducated to be in the market. If you don't understand placing money for 10 minutes or 10 years equals defining the risk that you're willing to take for the possible rewards you're willing to make, that the behavior is fundamentally the same on a 1 minute chart as a 10-year chart, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And if you end up in here trying to tell us that you're fucking, well, I use a different word so it's a different thing, you're just uneducated. Completely. So spotty, like, they're trying to help you. Either allow it or, you're going to have a tough time here. But you're talking completely out of your fucking rectum and don't know anything yet you're saying to the wrong motherfuckers who will call you on it. Half the dudes in the stream are professional traders that have been trained by me. They know what they're doing and they make a living on the thing you wish you did. So either you learn to take constructive criticism and advice, or you're the guy who doubles down and stupid and gets hit by the train and we just watch you to see it happen so we don't stand where you're standing. You can either receive help or you can be the fucking studied cadaver. Don't be the cadaver. You don't want to be that guy. So, better to cover that in voice than text. That'll just turn into a lengthy bunch of craziness. And what else do you got? Testy stuff in the chat. That high VIX got some people feeling some kind of way today, huh? Let's see. Ixadar, morning, man. Respect on the hundreds. Always appreciate you guys being here and showing love for the stream. All the rest is doing obvious cognitive dissonance and people are defending BS arguments. Let's see. Emotions and fear pervades most people's present reality. It's a good word, pervades. I'm not even sure I understand it until I see the context. Profit, emotions, fear are like oil and water. Oh, interesting statement. Here go all in XYZ coin. Well, people repeat a lot of lies until they believe it, and that's the thing. If you don't actually recognize it and look at information and separate your bias from it, you can get caught in it. We're emotionally entangled, and like a flock of birds, we kind of we move and turn together, and that's kind of how. If everyone keeps saying to you that the pandemic is not a big deal, and you don't actually do any research, you can end up on a beach party saying, "Well, I think it's not a big deal too." And people sharing ideas like that, right? We're not about getting caught up in someone's fantasy. We're about looking at reality for what it is and actually looking at what the crowd believes it is and making money in the differential between what they think it is and what it actually is. That's what speculation really is. Dissect their ass. Hopefully you guys, Spotty and the other guy, you understand like what we're telling you is to your benefit. Nobody here is trying to fucking harm you. We're telling you things though in a very blunt way that it has to be said that way because most people it's very hard for them to change behavior. Their ego doesn't really let them do that very easily, and the things that you're saying will get you murdered. Let's see. Thank you for being a fucking. Oh, that's what you wrote. Thank you for being a fucking ass. I'm an ass, but I try to at least give you information that's useful. I don't try to kill you. You're swearing. Your swearing flow opened my eyes. Yeah, you know the profanity it accentuates points. It's actually not meant personally. Nothing I do is actually personal. It's the way I describe a thing to give its full emotional context for you to pick up on like everything about the way I see it. When you read someone's text, you kind of like superimpose your biases about what you think a person's like into their words, and you read it in your head like you think they are. When you can see them speak, right, it adds the emotional depth of what they fully believe into it and gives their own perspective and context to you. I accentuate that with tonalities of voice, with the way I say things, for you to get the full thusness of what a thing is. So you can value it, even if you don't understand my perspective. If you understand my words and the emotional content I've driven into it, it's my best attempt to give you like the full valuation, in the way I communicate. Um, your beard is always a mess after watching one of my streams. I don't even want to know where that's going. No, I'm kidding. Logic's for you guys. Well, thanks, Spotty. Hopefully, you like see it's not meant to hurt you. It's just what is the belief structures that people all have that 90% of people get fucked up in this thing that has two choices, and it's obviously something not everyone is caught or 90% of you wouldn't do it. So it's a lot of your natural tendencies that you think is just normal are invading all the systems that your behavior is in. Right? The graph is a graph of our behavior over time. Well, if you live in fantasies and you make decisions in them, you do it everywhere. Your job, trading, everywhere. You start to talk about opinion versus reality, and you make decisions on limited amounts of information. That's basically what kills most people. That's how somebody can have a proper valuation of an asset, and you have a skewed valuation of an asset is because the other guy has more information. Bias conditions reality to fit into a narrow view, which means you actually, with a strong bias, remove information until you get what you want. In a zero sum game, you're literally dead against a motherfucker using a supercomputer or something like that. He's got all the data you don't. That's the danger in markets, right? Knowledge is power. Bias is a killer because bias deletes information in a system where knowledge is power. It's fucking literally the thing you do not want to do. So we are very blunt and aggressive in the behaviors and dealing with the behaviors that are literally the killer. But if you inhabit the behavior, your ego might tell you that we're being personal with you, and we're not. We're actually describing the behavior occupying you as a danger in order for you to separate it from you to be free of it. It may not always come out that way. You might even think that we're trying to fight with you, but this is the reality of what it really is. It's never personal. Uh, do you guys? Do I have some type of courses? I train traders, but this show, my blogs, my streams, the bulk of my shit's public, and even my Telegram that I have is for about a year and 5 months now, 3 months. It's free, and in it, the real thing is that you take some of your own time to use what I leave everywhere. One of the really shitty habits is people like tell me what to do, tell me what to do. That's how you get OGs who fucking run your bank account into the fucking ground. I am of the logic that the habit that actually kills people is the laziness of handing the responsibilities over to a person to kill them like that. So I will generally make you go do more work to build the habit of doing for yourself, which will stop you from being dependent on an idiot in a mask or a guy in CBC or anybody. And you'll pick up more information and actually make more informed decisions if you change the habits that you have and that you use to go about getting it. So yeah, I have a Telegram. I help people kind of learn psychology there in my own way. It's kind of brutal, but it works. And once you can demonstrate like the ability to structure a team, be cooperative, have sticking power, staying power, then I'm open to training some people. But I generally am not even taking people for until I see that you can actually like do some habits that make sense for 6 months to even a year. So before I do another nebula, the guys who've actually been in my Twitter Discord, they've been in the free channel for a calendar year before I see that they have actually the kind of habits that could be trained into a professional trader. In the meantime, many people have made a fortune just watching the show, streams, free channels, whatnot, and that's cool. If you're not cut out for like doing professional trading, though, it's not for everybody anyway. I only really train people that want to do it for like a lifetime. So I don't trade assloads of people. I have really small classes. I do them like once or twice a year, or not even. I've done one since February 2019, so I don't do them a lot. A lot of people believe that I have this army of like paid channels. I don't. I only have like 30 guys in my paid channel. The bulk of everyone in my ecosystem actually doesn't pay a dime. It's just that you require effort to be here, and I don't like make it easy because that's the habit that makes you die by fucking getting handouts. I'll never do the thing that most do because it's not valuable. Not because I'm a good guy or a bad guy, just because it's not fucking valuable, right? Everybody's looking for the handout. You'll never get it here. So, anyways, if you want to jump in our Telegram, you can. It's a brutal conversation. Participation is key. You're gonna see a lot of shit's gonna make you massively uncomfortable, and if you don't like it, it's a free room. You're welcome to leave. If you walk in and act a fool, you're gonna get a foot shoved so far up your ass, you're gonna cough up shoelaces. So don't play that shit. You're in a room full of guys trained to read behavior, and they're really good at it. So think twice before you think and make assumptions. Assumptions for assholes. Don't walk in with that either. We don't care what you believe. No one needs you to fucking ratify our ideas. We are the most accurate ecosystem in the fucking world if you haven't recognized it yet. We forecast every major move in world markets for a decade straight. So we're not looking for you to confirm our ideas. Right now, there are fucking hedge funds that follow what we do because they know what time it is. If you're fucking stuck on an e-pen and fucking figure out how to pay next month's bills and worrying about confirming our ideas, this isn't the place for you because we don't give a shit. The Telegram group is crowded. It's impossible to keep up. And in that, you actually tell us that you're lazy because all the other people who are keeping up that are fucking posting their wins are the guy that's not like that. And you fucking find a body of information about a behavioral study you've never read and say, well, there's too much there, then you shouldn't be there. I don't need to shorten my work for you to catch up and make it convenient for you. You need to put some effort into something and not be a lazy piece of shit, right? That's fucking retarded. Oh, there's too much words. What the fuck do you think I'm teaching you with? I can't read all of that stuff. Duh. Well, that's not a room for you, bro. You're a lazy guy who needs somebody to tell you something that will fucking kill you. Go do that. My room's for people that actually want to make an effort. So if reading words is overwhelming, don't go there. It could be 500 messages a day. I've written pretty much a fucking, case study in human behavior out for the last couple weeks. And that is markets. Human behavior is markets. That's where TA starts. Markets are 90% psychology. How the fuck do you want to start with an indicator? You clearly don't see the world right, or a fucking indicator would fix 90% of the stupid in the market, right? It's a 50-50 situation, and 90% of people lose that. The statistics should tell you fucking alone that the problem is the user, not the goddamn chart. Duh. So you got two fucking choices. How can 90% of people get that wrong? Something wrong with you, not the chart. There is no spoon, motherfucker. You're bending it. If you don't have the fucking effort to fucking read through and learn some shit about what's killing you, you're gonna stay dying and repeating the problem. And that's not anyone else's problem, it's yours. If the chat's too busy, leave. Go somewhere else if somebody gives you some fucking pretty indicator and robs your ass. I'll give you a free room. The only thing you have to do is fucking think. If you can't even do that, then get the fuck out. Straight up. I don't have to make it fucking easy for you. You need to fucking put some effort into your life. That's a joke. And that's what we're talking about. That kind of habit, I don't want to train that. So you show me you have a habit that you want to do something bigger and better than where you started off at and sustain that, then you at least show that you're a cut above 90% of the rest of the population that can't do something for fucking a week straight. That's why I did it this way. I'll give you a year. I'll teach you all kinds of shit for a fucking calendar year. Let's see if you're not a fucking turnip. And if you're not, that guy can turn into a professional trader real easy. I don't have to do a fucking million interviews for 3 months and figure out which jackass snuck into my channel. If you're fucking about it, you have habits that most people don't. And that guy's really trainable because he can adjust his habits and he can get over his ego and he can make course corrections. There's people who are just stuck on stupid and they're always going to be that fucking, that NPC. Let's see. Yeah, sheep attitude gets you killed. Is this Telegram somewhere in the blog? No, it's coming. I'm slow as fucking batshit. I can't fucking see straight. Give me a second, dude. It's a coming. So, it's crazy in there. Remember everything we say? If you come in there and you're a fucking flagrant racist, though, and say some really stupid racist shit to me, like you're trying to ruin my business, but can you teach me shit? We're gonna fuck you up. Let's just be clear. That actually happened a few times in the last couple of days, bro. Come on now. Obviously, that's not fucking smart. Don't be a dumbass. If you don't like me because of my fucking color, don't come in and tell me about it and then ask me to teach you stuff. I'm gonna tell you to fuck off. I don't teach people stuff I can't stand. I had to like you. I like doing this. I like spending my time in there. I'll spend fucking like 7 hours in my chat. It's free. It's just fun. I get to read humans and I read the markets and I'm accurate because I can watch all of you move. I like what I do. I don't do it because I have to. I have a fucking freedom for a year. I could have charged your fucking eyes out and still had you stay there. That's not the point. I read markets off of humans. So I keep pools of humans so I can watch all of you move and your speed and your emotions, the way you talk. And then I look at the price and I can confirm the structures based on a sample of the population of the humans that make up the graph. Price is people. I'm very literal. The humans are the fucking chart. So I talk to y'all all the fucking time so I can know when that VIX is going to top out. That's how I read the market. I watch the way you talk about things. That's price. I'm a sentiment trader. Technical analysis revolves around geometric structures created by the unfolding of human behavior on a graph. Then the human is the thing that front runs the candle. I'm gonna talk to you because you're gonna make the green dildo or the red dump bar. That's TA. That's why I do so much of this. Why I do so much human interaction. That is my method to get like the emotional part of the price structure that you really can't get. And keep very good track of it so when it repeats again, I understand the context of previous cycles and the behaviors of the crowd in that structure so I know it again. I can be the next candle. You could. Don't FOMO. It's 8:40, so yeah, I'm going to wrap here. Hopefully some of the guys from the room made it into the show to catch up to it before the bell happened, so I know I kind of overran this one, my bad. What the hell? Can't see a fucking thing here. Okay. It's coming. This isn't like the Discord one I could like surprise you because this one's like, it doesn't expire. So I used to fuck with you guys to catch you off time on that one, but this one's just whatever. Let's see. What the heck is it? There you go. Hop in, say hi, get an avatar. You do need to read the chat. It over time explains things that you cannot get from a short answer. Read the blog, read stuff. I put a fucking decade worth of information out there. All you have to do is actually look at it and read all the words. It'll help you. Don't be lazy. We'll know it. We don't look for that. No one wants a teammate that's good to sit there and say, you got a hot tip? They don't like that. Everyone contributes analysis in the teams. So the teams that form, that learn cooperative behaviors, everybody's got a stake in it for everybody to fucking make it together. It's like an organized gang. It's a lot easier to beat the shit out of fucking one, muscular dude with 6 fucking like stringy guys than be the one muscular dude fighting a fucking army. Teamwork works, and it allows you to have more eyes on the prize at the same time. You will catch more information. More people who are aware of detailed information and how to process it, working cooperatively equals a fucking gang that no individual can fuck with. So cooperation is the 1% habit. We live and die by that. Long-time lurker turned participant. Well, make sure to stay a participant. No lurking. That shit's never good. So it is 8:45. You guys who are heading into the market, like I said, VIX is Did I? Oh yeah, I didn't even put the VIX up. Wait, real quick, finish with that. So that's the VIX Mageddon chart. So our level from the banking crisis worked. So VIX is stalled, and he's back in the shockwave right now for the Armageddon shockwave. That's huge. So we're going back down our fucking our Barmageddon emoji scale. So you guys should be back to just about pissed off about things. But you're out of like mindfuckville up here, mind blownville, right? So that's good. So this needs to sit there. Now we need the price structure, risk assets to stabilize, and this needs to remain down there so we don't get this trend structure like a bull market in fear. This is the end of the world. So wherever the fuck this happens at, this is fucking when you head to your death. When you have a bull market breakout in fear, it's to your death. So right now the central banks have staved off Armageddon for the time being, and they're going to have to continue to do this while China seizes the world. So China's got us, in a really crazy position. The central bankers appear to have stabilized things. Now our leadership has to stop this fucking virus, or this can actually break out again, and that would be horrible if he does it again and clears the Armageddon zone. So cool, we got our fucking level. He worked. Now we're waiting for risk assets to confirm. Again, like we said in the banking crisis, risk assets can fucking stay pretty weak even in the fucking pullback from those levels. He needs to dip down to, like I said, down to like here, right? 21, 30s, end of 30, heading towards this is where you start to see like meaningful price action rises. But you see like here, this real gas pedal move that comes in April 2012, he comes completely south of 21, and it's just fucking moon rip. And same thing over here, right? Right here, south of 21 moon rip. So that's your real, like, where real risk assumption happens, and there's forward visibility, and there is a normal fucking, risk profile out in time. Right now, none of that's there. So everything is really short term, and it's subject to fucking huge price shocks from any kind of new news that shocks the system. So it's still dangerous as fuck, even though that's tops. That's why I only call the VIX not the bottom of asset prices. They can still fall in a high VIX. So there are going to be meaningful bounces, and they're going to look big enough in a VIX this high that they're going to look like it's over. And that's what traps people in the bank to slam you again. The moves in both directions are insane. So they look like we're out of it. Oh my God, it's going back to crash. Oh my God, we're out of it. And that, in a high volatility environment, that's what's happening. It swings you too wildly back and forth to really have forward visibility, and your emotions are completely out of whack because the speed of the price will fucking imbue you with the emotions of the market. It'll mind fuck you at the speed it's going. So hopefully I'm giving enough information to try and keep you objective and zoomed out a little bit, not get sucked into the price at these speeds. Always keep context by looking at your macro time frames before you get stuck on the 1 minute chart and lose complete fucking, perspective on what that 1 minute chart is unfolding within. Right now, this is the macro structure that the VIX is. And at least in this resolution, we don't appear to be about to be extinct yet. Now we need to see market stabilize and bottom meaningfully in a higher resolution before we're ready to go in and FOMO fucking, Apple fucking new all-time high breaks. Right now, that's not on the horizon. So give the market time to heal, and fucking us to have forward visibility of how the lockdowns affect things. Do we fucking flatten the curve on COVID? None of that's known. So even when the economy is going to turn back on, nobody has a fucking clue. This is a central bank float right now to basically stave off Armageddon, and it's them providing liquidity. There's no real risk capital coming down in the system. So the market is massively, massively illiquid. If you've been trading intraday, it's almost like nobody's in there. It's just being buoyed by the central banks. So still needs time yet, but at least this is developing in such a way that looks like we might not be fully dead, and the reactions from the global community are getting to the place it needs to be to stop this thing from killing us. So I think that's about it. You guys fully mindfucked before the morning open with too much shit to think about to get over there? No, I'm kidding. Boy, that's bright. So hopefully I get you guys in the right place, like looking at things. Crypto also got that in there. We'll talk about the US dollar and commodities and things in the next show. I know this show ran longer than I had actually planned on. So hope you guys learned a lot of shit. I had fun, like always. I'll see you guys in Telegram. All you guys who jumped in, don't be lazy, for real. Read, participate, put an avatar on. Don't be one of those bubble accounts. Can't stand that shit. Put something cool on, and no selfies. Hide your phone. Don't leave your personal info. There's trolls that have come in through the link. Obviously, there's shitbag OGs who can't stay away because they love that eggplant on their lips every day. So they're in there too, being salty, lurking as I kick them in the fucking dick repeatedly. Bitches are going to be bitches. They do what they do. Let them talk shit, right? We stay on the right side of the market. It's what we do. So appreciate all you guys. Thanks for the ridiculous amounts of bits today. You guys are fucking crazy. I appreciate you. I will see you on the next one. Peace out.
Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Welcome to Winternomics.